Johnny Depp thanks his fans for getting a massive win over Amber Heard. Welcome back to Fabulously Famous. We are back with Johnny Depp thanks his fans for getting a massive win over Amber Heard. So let's go! Johnny Depp paused for a minute to thank his allies on Friday in the midst of information his $50 million slander preliminary against ex-Amber Heard will be pushed back due to COVID concerns. He shared a video of himself in a work area before an enormous load of cabinet as he worked out a thank you letter. Johnny reiterated the content of his note in the inscription, which read, "Hi all, I simply needed to thank you all by for your consistent and steadfast help all through many long and intriguing scenes of my life. I'm just here as a result of you, and I'm just here for you." Musician, author, and dissident Patti Smith was among the many fans who answered to the star, remarking, "As the Libertine said, ink not drink. Watching you compose fills me with joy. We as a whole love you generally." Johnny's appreciative energies could be identified with the news of his body of evidence against his ex has been rescheduled from January to May 3 as per the deadline. The entertainer, as of late, requested that the court defer procedures for the situation, which he brought against Amber over her December 2018 commentary about aggressive behavior at home for the Washington Post. Due to his new recording dates for the following phenomenal Beasts film, Amber went against a change, advising the court she should be on set herself during the time Johnny needed to reschedule. Johnny eventually got the date change he needed, yet not in view of his solicitation. At this moment, the Virginia Supreme Court has not approved us to lead jury preliminaries. An appointed authority in Virginia said through video gathering on Friday as per deadline. The appointed authority chose to push back Johnny and Amber's preliminary due to the pandemic, yet the Daily Mail brings up that since criminal cases will be given need, the deferral could keep the previous couple from going head-to-head until some other time in the year. Johnny is blaming Amber for stigmatizing him in the Post piece by suggesting the aggressive behavior at home she professes to have been exposed to was executed by him during their marriage. He has denied her maltreatment claims, saying it was she who mishandled him, not the reverse way around. In May 2016, Amber Heard, a 30-year-old entertainer, showed up at a Los Angeles court looking for a controlling request against her better half, the Hollywood star Johnny Depp. As she left the structure, she wound up encompassed by picture takers, writers, and film groups. On her cheek was what gave off an impression of being an imprint. The court was likewise shown photos of what resembled facial swelling. She said Depp had viciously assaulted her and in a fury had tossed a cell phone at her face with outrageous power. There were additional claims of different occurrences of abusive behavior at home. She said she had persevered through inordinate, passionate, verbal, and actual maltreatment, and furious, unfriendly, embarrassing, and compromising attacks. Depp denied the maltreatment. The limiting request was without a doubt, and before long, the marriage was finished. After 4 years, the couple was back in court, however, this time in London. Nonetheless, this was not Amber Heard's case. She had not decided to be here. This was a criticism activity Depp had brought against a British paper, The Sun. At the core of the case was his affirmation that the claims of actual maltreatment were an intricate fabrication. Depp utilized outstanding amongst other known criticism lawyers in the nation to attempt to demonstrate the cases were false. Throughout the following 3 weeks, Heard showed up at court every day and strolled past her previous spouse's fans who were persuaded that it was their saint who was the person in question and it was she who had attacked him. In court, her story, photographs, recollections, and the records of her companions were totally presented to the world and said by Depp's group and allies to be essential for a plot to dishonestly demonstrate that he was, as the Sun had guaranteed in April 2018, a tank top. It was not simply the fans and media who were observing cautiously. Legal advisors were at that point pondering on the off chance that he won. What sway this would have on ladies approaching with cases of abusive behavior at home. Outside, Johnny Depp would show up every day to cheers. Yet, his conduct and way of life were additionally under the magnifying lens, and an adjudicator has now decided that the Sun's claims were considerably obvious. From court to media circus. Would you like a Johnny Depp face veil? A lady holding a cardboard box offered me a little earthy colored envelope. Inside was a high-contrast handkerchief and an individual note of thanks from Johnny Depp. The lady, who was important for the entertainer's company, vanished in a court as surrounding me fans and spectators started to examine their new scarves. The remainder of Britain was in lockdown. Transports and roads in focal London were abandoned, but here, outside the Royal Courts of Justice, There was a group, in some cases more than 200 in number. Some wore covers, however, when Johnny Depp showed up, all endeavors at social removing imploded in the smash to get an impression. Inside the High Court, it was much more particular. The Royal Courts of Justice are colossal, gothic, and profoundly serious. It's a position of stone curves and quieted tones. What's more, in July, it was practically vacant. I say nearly, on the grounds that there were a couple of individuals, a small bunch of columnists, rushing through security, and furthermore, waiting in the foyers and entries dissecting Depp fans. One lady showed me her arms, which were canvas and tattoos of Johnny Depp. Another man showed up every day dressed as Jack Sparrow, the star's person in Pirates of the Caribbean. And afterward, at around 10 o'clock every day, they would accumulate on the way to Court 13. As Depp strolled past, they would offer messages of help, and towards the end of the case, he was seen giving them each an embrace. A little serenade of Johnny Johnny could be heard as he strolled into court. After 10 minutes, he was sitting in the testimony box, attempting to persuade a high court judge he was not a tank top. The wife-beater allegations. The allegations were stunning. Heard said she had been attacked by him in excess of 14 events. She said she had, on occasion, been in dread for her life and left with a messed up nose, bruised eyes, and split lip. Horrendous, smashed outbursts had, she said, went on for quite a long time. There was additionally a 15th charge excessively horrendous and individual to be heard in open court. It seemed like a criminal preliminary. Depp was being blamed for rehashed attacks on his previous accomplice, the kind of viciousness that has sent others to jail. Yet, this was certainly not a criminal preliminary. It was not difficult to fail to remember this was a criticism fight among Depp and Newsgroup newspapers, the distributors of The Sun, in light of the fact that nobody from the paper was called to the testimony box. Dan Wooten, the writer whose article had said there was overpowering proof that the entertainer was an undershirt, was not even on the rundown of 79 names referred to in the preliminaries records. What's more, what a rundown of names it was. The case started with an email trade about the dangers of compulsion among Depp and Sir Elton John, and afterward proceeded with references to a confusing cast of characters. James Franco, Marilyn Manson, Elon Musk, Winona Ryder, Kate Moss, and Vanessa Paradis were all visitor stars in a story that took a private universe of the Hollywood A rundown and blew it apart. We were shown instant messages and video films of gatherings and lifts. The super rich burns through millions securing their protection, and here was a couple uncovering a phone index of insider facts. No star would do this except if they felt there was a greater thing in question. For Depp, that was re-establishing his standing. Why London? However, for what reason did this fight start in the UK? The article with the Dan Wooten byline, specifically the expression undershirt in a feature that was subsequently changed, had allowed Johnny Depp an opportunity to test his ex's cases in court, and likewise an English court. What is defamation and how can it function? It would require a longer article to clarify every one of the distinctions. However, the embodiment of the legitimate split among England and America is that on the off chance that you compose something disparaging in London, the weight is on you to demonstrate it is valid. In America, the maligned individual needs to demonstrate it is inaccurate. A totally different undertaking. It sounds like a thin legitimate comfort, however, it can have a significant effect. Written in Wales, defamation law was fixed in 2013, however, it is as yet probably the best spot on the planet for the rich, and it is a rich individual's downfall to take on the media. Assuming you need to win a slander case, and you have a decision about where to bring it, attorneys will propose purchasing a pass to Heathrow. Furthermore, assuming you need to see how huge an issue this was for Depp's standing, take a gander at what he was exchanging. He lived in a universe of safety officers and private planes. Going to court blew it apart. On the off chance that you at any point considered what it resembled to be Depp, this case lifted the top on a special yet unpredictable presence, his temper, and his set of experiences with drink and medications. Whatever follows will surely come to you as a surprise, but we will make sure to be the first ones to deliver it to you. Stay tuned to know more. Until then, stay safe. Before you leave, make sure that you share, subscribe, and like the video.